Hi everyone, and welcome to another great car here on the Car Reviews podcast. Don't forget, we also have the Collector Car Stories podcast. Have a look at that. We run it every week, and we have fun with an enthusiast or group of enthusiasts about a car collection. Maybe it's a certain special car, a road trip, or just a car story. So yeah, check that out on CCC Podcasts link on any page of the website. And please do remember to share these podcasts around among your car friends helping car friends. And drop us a like if you like what we see in the video. If you don't, please leave us a comment. Tell us how we can be better. But those likes do help the YouTube algorithms find the right viewers for these videos. And do subscribe to them, where you'll be the first to know about the new stories on the CCS podcast and the new cars on the CR podcast. So back to the car we have today. It is kind of the last of a breed. It's a 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS. It's going to be lot 227 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Again, a 96 Chevy Impala SS. I'm going to give it a start. Then we'll have a listen to the engine and the exhaust and take a little tour of the car. So without further ado, here we go with a start. So no problem at all with the start. You can hear even as the engine idles and the camera, a good 15 feet away from the car, you can hear there's a bit of a rumble from the exhaust, and we'll get close up to that in just a minute here. All right, engine's still idling. Here's a look at the, I call it a heavy Chevy from a distance with the lights on. Now those are just the running lights, so the full headlights come on just with the car running. And we'll get a good look at the 5.7 liter LT1. All right, as you can see, this Chevy Impala SS from the last year of the Impala SS for rear drive cars, 1996. And that's what I meant about the last of a breed, the last of the rear drive Impala SS's. But as you see in there, there's some customizations to the performance part of the deal with the 96 Impala SS. I'll call out a few. Just as I see with the naked eye, but please do take a look at our detailed listing for lot 227 to get a full sense of the list where we've got them itemized out there. So I see a K&N filter along to the intake, and we see a Edelbrock name. There's a big stabilizer bar. That's my Hotchkiss Performance, as you see. Aftermarket battery, as you might expect, but somehow an interstate suits this big domestic. I'll give you a look at the diagrams that are still in place. Another Hotchkiss label on the stabilizer bar. So there's a good sense of what's under hood here with the 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS. I'm going to put the hood down. As you see, there are gas-powered shocks to keep the hood up, no prop rod. And you also see the custom look of the hood against the glossy paint of the fender. That hood's got a matte finish. And check the details on the detailed listing for the particulars of that hood. It's definitely not the steel of the fender. So another modification to this car are the side exhausts. So we'll have a listen to those. They're equipped at both sides of the bumper cover. So there's one. I'll bring the camera across the rear and you can see that gold colored Impala emblem. So there's a good listen to the exhaust. I think the camera lens has been fogged up from the steam coming out of that pipe, but we'll clear up here in a minute. At the moment though, we don't need the engine running anymore. So I'm gonna cut it, but before I do, I'll give you a look at that odometer. A nice low miler for a 96, under 62,000 kilometers. Wow. And the big airbag in the steering wheel. So now we'll take a tour of the exterior of the car. And as I say, under 62,000 kilometers, 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS with the 5.7 liter LT1 V8 engine. It was rated at 260 horsepower from the factory with 330 pounds-feet of torque. And there's a 4-speed automatic in place, and that gets the power to the rear wheels only. So again, that's why I say the last of the breed, the last year of Impala SS with rear drive. Now, it's really common for people to talk about the similarities of the LT1 here in the Impala SS with the period Corvettes and the top-end Camaro. One thing that is different is that the heads are in cast iron in this car, whereas on the Corvette and the high-end Camaro, they are aluminum. And another thing that's different on the engineering side is that the sports cars, the two-door cars, are more developed for high-end, high-rev horsepower, whereas this car here in the Impala SS, it's more about the low-end torque, and that's why I gave you the torque figure. And that just makes sense for the bigger, heavier people mover performance car in the Chevy lineup in 1996. So we've got some polished wheels with that Impala emblem in the center cap. And the tires on this car are a Nitto NT450. They're V-rated for a speed rating, and at all four corners, the size is 275, 50, R17. So 17-inch wheels all around, and a square setup with 275, 50, R17. Nitto NT450 Extreme Performance. Working our way around the car, there is a remote lock control on a fob. We've got that with us, but I thought I'd point out also that this is before the keyholes started disappearing on the passenger side. So there's a keyhole on both the passenger side and the driver's side. Nowadays, a lot of cars have dropped the keyhole on the passenger side because most of us rely on our remote fobs, and we've got the keyhole in the driver's side as a backup if the fob were to malfunction. Good look at the polished wheel here on the passenger side rear. We'll take a good look at as we shoot on the video, but I haven't noticed any marks on these wheels. So the first two we've seen are without mark, and we'll take a look at the other side as well. Here's another one of the Impala emblems. The gold is fading a little bit on that one. And again, here's a feature I really like about this car, and that is the side exit exhaust with polished tips, one on each side. stock item here is the stock item for the ImpalaSS is the rear spoiler built right onto the trunk. Another of the Impala emblems. And this emblem, you can see it in the 60s Impalas too. I don't know that it was used throughout the whole run of Impala, but you do see it on the 60s cars. Here's another look. Here's a look at another, the other polished exit on the side of the car, here on the driver's side. And this car is equipped with a tow hook, or not a tow hook, rather a tow hitch. And the owner's got a decorative Chevrolet badge just covering it up. Then over here to the driver's side rear wheel. Again, a nice polished look with the Nitto NT450 Extreme Performance. And no marks on that wheel either, with that beautiful Impala insignia in the center cap. Tinted windows on this car. You can get a good look at the emblems on the windows themselves in the detailed listing. Lot 227 again. And door handle here for the driver has that keyhole, just like we saw on the passenger side and I was talking about. Dual color coded mirrors. They're power, but we'll get into that when we get to the inside of the car. And then a fourth wheel, also unmarked, with the polished finish and that Impala logoed center cap. Getting back towards the front of the car. As I say, please look us up on lot 227 on CollectorCarCanada.CA for the particulars of that aftermarket hood. Chevy emblem centered up in the grille. With it being red on the black reminds me of the bow tie nickname for that emblem. Popular with the NASCAR set, as this car might be as well. And the last thing I want to show you outside, well, I guess I'll show you that where the power antenna sits, the other dual mirror, and the sunroof, which is power controlled. It's got a slider as well as a pop top style. So that should do us for the exterior. Come with me, we'll climb in and have a look at the inside of the car. So last I say of the rear drive Impalas here in 96, and it's a really roomy interior. We did the driving videos a little earlier. Please do take a look at those. We show the car accelerating, we show the car braking, we show it cruising at city speed, we show it cruising at highway speed, and there's a highway entry. But one thing we noticed was that the armrest for the left arm of the driver is, there's a good distance between it and the steering wheel, which just goes to serve how wide the car is. So power controls here for the windows, as you'd expect, but also the power seat is controlled up here. Power locks up here on the side of the door, on the vertical edge of the door, and then power mirrors up here. This car's been treated to a number of aftermarket appointments. As you'll see here, there's an Alpine Bluetooth deck with rear view camera. Couple of appointments for it. There are tweeters just inside the mirrors on both doors. And then up here on the top of the A-pillar, there's a microphone for the in place of a headset. You can use that as your microphone if using the phone functionality for the Bluetooth. Rear view mirrors got some map lights and air conditioning, as you'd expect. So manually operated air conditioning. The EM button is to alternate between metric controls and imperial on the dash, and the other one's the trip reset. And a lighter, as you'd expect for 1996. There's a little cubby down there in front of the shifter, another Impala emblem. 4-speed automatic, as I say. We've got the name of the GM 4-speed in place in the detailed listing for lot 227. I feel like I know what it is off the top of my head, but I'm going to direct you to our detailed listing so that on the off chance I don't have it right, I don't want to steer you wrong. Armrest between the two bucket seats. So it would have been common in older Impalas to have a bench across in the front, but bucket seats in this Impala. And inside that armrest, there's a little bit of storage space as well. Deep, pretty deep actually. And this, the owner of this car has a dashboard cover in place to protect it. We did peel it off earlier. Check our photos on the detailed listing, lot 227, and you can see the dash, the naked dash, I'll call it, without the dash protector in place. I don't want to mess it up, so I'm going to leave it in place as we shoot the video. And one last item I'll point from the front of the cabin, well, a couple of them. The owner's gone to perforated aluminum pedals, automatic transmission, of course, so just the two, as well as the emergency brake on the far left. But these floor mats do a really great job of covering all of the carpet. We did peel back some of it for the photos in the detailed listing, so you can have a look at those if you like. And there's one additional seat adjustment, which is not power, and that's to control the recline function. Other functions are right up here on the door. We'll take a look at the passenger side as well. And then of course, a big car like this, the back seat is worthy of a look as well. So there's a good glove box. There's a view of the glove box in our detailed listing and photos. There are some personal items on there inside of it, so I prefer not to open it for the video. Another neat appointment, all four corner headrests have the ImpalaSS embroidery on them. But there's a good look at the width of the bucket seats. Into the rear, gray interior, gray leather I might add, and 5 passengers here. You can see the front seat, or the middle seat belt rather, is resting over the bench. Shoulder belts for the outboard passengers in the rear, and there's an armrest as well. So if there are only 2 passengers or 1 passenger, the armrest can be made of use. There's the ImpalaSS logo here on the headrest, and the Impala insignia in the center above the armrest. Speakers up there on the parcel shelf with the gray matching carpet. Power windows all around, so there's the control for the rear. Map pockets on the seat backs of the front buckets. So I'm gonna grab that key fob I was mentioning earlier, and we'll use it to get into the trunk. There are a few personal items in the trunk, but not too personal. They're more car related, so we can take a look. But here's a look at the stock key fob. Familiar to GM people of the 90s, certainly. I recognize it. So just one button, one touch of the button. And here's the business end of that Alpine head unit I mentioned. So that's our look at the 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS. It's lot 227 on CollectorCarCanada.CA. Just a few other details about it. See our detailed listing for all of them. But again, lot 227. It's under 62,000 kilometers. It's got a 5.7 liter V8 engine with some modifications under the hood. We showed some of them in the video, but do refer to the detailed listing for the whole itemized list. A 5.7 liter, originally rated at 260 horsepower with 330 pounds-feet of torque. It's the LT1 GM V8 of the period, also found in Corvette and top-end Camaro. The one here in the Impala, though, it's engineered more for low-end torque. The Corvettes and the Camaros, LT1s, are more for high rev horsepower. The low-end torque really suits the bigger car we have here in the Impala SS. 4-speed automatic transmission, getting all that power to the rear wheels. And please do take a look at the detailed listing, CollectorCarCanada.CA. ImpalaSS.ca, lot 227 on the 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS. Thank you for watching. Please do share it with your friends. Throw us a like. It doesn't cost you a nickel. And thank you for watching, and on to the next car.